had a doctor be racist to me when I was a kid with my mom in the room.
Oh, that's fucked.
I guess he was kind of scolding my mother because I
Mhm.
was I was overweight when I was young. He's like, what do you want? You want us to have to come in here one day and cut your tits off?" And I was like,
How old were you?
I was like 7. I was like
That's
young. I was,
That's
or
wow.
6 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see this guy?
But yeah, for our next topic, stereotypes. Are they wrong, even if they have a little bit of truth to it? I mean, some people can get offended, some people can't. What do you guys think? You're on mute, though.
I would say the way that I would introduce it is that stereotypes are only here because they are based off of some sort of truth. Now, they wouldn't not be like, you wouldn't see it stay around if it wasn't based in some sort of truth. Now, I do think there are some really unfair ones. And that, you know what I mean?
Like?
That there's just, they cover such a wide women don't know how to navigate, because I know a lot of women that don't know how to navigate, but I do know women that know where the fuck they're going and where shit is in the city and stuff like that. But or like women can't drive, because I've seen plenty of male drivers that are just the same. Like, they just suck.
I mean, although from the last episode, you did call your mom the violator.
My mom was the violator. All right. But my mom didn't get us killed. But my mom did a whole bunch of wild shit. Right.
My grandmother too, bro. She used to, like, when she's driving and there's an accident, she'll let go of the steering wheel and turn to the right to see. It's like, yo, what are you doing, bro? And it's not because she's a woman or anything. It's just, I think she's just old and just.
I had a buddy that when he was first learning to drive and we were riding around with him back in high school, when he would check his blind spot, the car, he would turn the car ever so slightly every time he was checking that blind spot.
That's hilarious.
My main concern with the stereotype stuff, though, is like, people like to say that stereotypes are based in some truth. I don't know if that's right. I don't even know if that's true. Like I acknowledge that somebody must have had some experience with, like, women being bad drivers or something like that, and then that stereotype just sort of came about. Or maybe it came about back when just women didn't drive,
or they weren't allowed to.
Yeah, like, men kind of ruled the world for a very long period of time, and women just, within the last, like, what is the 60s now? So it's like 60 years. They just started getting the rights to vote, drive, do different things. It's like, sorry, not drive, like work and shit like that. So it's like they haven't had the need to be in cars and travel and do things like that. So it's like, maybe the stereotype came about when all those women were first learning how to drive. But, like, if you look at the statistics, right, what are the stereotypes, right? Old people can't drive, Asians can't drive, women can't drive. But if you look at the stats on all of these things, they get in less car accidents than other demographics. So it's like, where is the stereotype coming from that people are, like, labeling those people as bad drivers? Like, I don't know.
I think the military guys that buy the Dodge Chargers and the Demons, I think that stereotype is real. All right. That's a real stereotype. Yo, I feel like there is specific people at the dealership specifically for those military people, like, just because they know how to get them every time.
As soon as the military person walks in and they're just like, yep, I'm planning on using a military discount, they're like, yep, we have the Chargers right over here.
Right over here. The Demons.
Let me
right
take you
over
to
here.
our military section. It's just Chargers.
Chargers and Hummers.
Would you like a track hawk?
But no, yeah, like, some of the stereotypes are just like, I mean, there's obviously there's different levels of stereotypes, right? Like, people, like the white guys who would do dreads and shit on the beach or whatever. They're like the beach bums. They're trying to be hip and trying to be cool. People, even some of the black community would look down on those guys and be like, yo, y'all just acting like y'all want to be black or something.
There's this thing that I came across. This just made me think of it. This thing I came across the other day. It's these doormats that this brand sells. This brand called Dime Bags. They make like smell-proof bags and things like that, right? But they sell these doormats. Obviously, all their products are, it's targeted towards like people that smoke weed and things like that. But they make these doormats that that the doormat says "come back with a warrant," and that kind of cracks me up. But imagine that you have a doormat that says "come back with a warrant." Is there a bigger like way to announce to the entire community in the world at large that something shady's happening in your house than to have that doormat?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's just a red flag. You're just pretty much saying, yeah, I got some paraphernalia, large amounts of paraphernalia in here that could be sellable, but need a warrant. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
There is this phenomenon which I really don't support the police like that, but I do have to like notice that there is a type of person that comes up a lot in these police videos, and it's like, yo, some of these people are really fucking annoying, and I'd be feeling bad for the police. I'm like, yo, I feel bad that you have to deal with this much bullshit on a daily basis. Like, shit does not seem like what I want to be doing on a day-to-day.
The main type of videos that have actually made me feel like bad for the police or cheer for the police? Those fucking sovereign citizen videos,
yes,
dude.
Those are the people I'm talking about. The people that they'll go in the police thing and start recording the clerks. Why are you recording? It's a law. I can do it.
I'm a sovereign citizen. Your law holds no bounds over me.
I said, oh, you work for me. You work
those
for
are
me.
the best. Those really get the cops going like, oh, yeah, okay. My tax dollars is paying for your fucking car. Or whatever the fuck does. Yeah, that's shit is ridiculous.
Well, a lot of the sovereign citizens also don't believe in paying taxes, though. So like, there's some overlap there with some of those fringe opinions.
Yeah,
but yeah, the one thing that's interesting too, right? And I'm not defending any of these cops that do bullshit, but like the perception that cops just like kill mad unarmed people or mad unarmed black people, like, it's not really accurate. Like, it happens. It's terrible when it happens. The cops should be convicted and all of that. But it kind of sucks that like there's this happens there's maybe like a dozen times a year or something like that, which is probably too much. I'm not saying that it's an acceptable number, but it's shit that like everybody gets painted with this broad brush by like those types of situations, I think there's only like 100 something people since like 2015, since like this like time frame, like when people started like really keeping track of all this bullshit. It's only been like a couple, like 150 people or something like that have been shot. Unarmed people getting shot by cops. It's like, it's terrible, but it's kind of shit that like blanket all cops are these unarmed killers.
The biggest problem with me when I look at, because everyone has a job to do, right? How do you stop someone who does not want to be arrested? Like, eventually somebody's gonna get hurt in that interaction. Like, and I'm trying to think about like, what way could they have done this differently to where this outcome didn't happen?
Well, there's a lot of like de-escalation training and shit like that hasn't really caught on as like a mainstay of like the police force in most areas. There's some de-escalation techniques. They're saying that even having cops with like tasers ready to go increase the likelihood of an encounter entering in violence, because the perception we all have of tasers is it's non-lethal, there's no risk. The reality is you can still fucking kill someone with a taser. Like, if someone's got a heart condition, there's all kinds of factors.
You could do permanent damage.
There's a lot of risk with this, but it's now seen by a lot of people at large, because it's non-lethal or less lethal or whatever, as a legitimate de-escalation tactic. And it's not. There is no situation that you're going to de-escalate by causing violence to another person. All it does is hype up the other person. It's like trying to stop a fight at a bar and telling someone, you just need to calm down. That doesn't work. That never works. That would never work. Telling someone to calm down.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I think honestly that is the main the. It seems to me that would probably be a better approach. Like right now, like increasing the level of violence to detain somebody doesn't seem to be a good way to like, you know, get them to do what you want. You know what I mean? You either you gotta use enough violence that now their life isn't in jeopardy. You know what I mean? And that's probably not a good move. Like,
You
I
want to
think
know?
the de-escalation is probably a safer way to do it. And I'm interested in there's other countries that these cops don't carry guns or weapons like the American cops do. I wonder what it looks like over there when people just don't want to be arrested. You know what I mean?
I think Harvard and these big universities need to do a study on 6th Street in Austin, all right? Because people getting fucked up on that street every night of the week, bro. And those cops, they come with their whistles. They come, there's mace spraying everywhere. I would like to just one day go over there with you guys and we just sit and just watch all the chaos. It's almost every week there is a video on World Star of 6th Street, of some fight on 6th Street, titties out. And it's like, is this a stereotype that you can go to this place and you're gonna see a ratchet ass fight or something like that?
In Austin, 6th Street is definitely the place where like you tell someone you're going there, like, oh, let me mentally prepare myself for this kind of night out. I thought we were just gonna go have drinks. I didn't realize we were gonna go and watch some fights and see some crazy shit.
So
I leave my nice jewelry at home.
So I just typed up 5 trigger stereotypes, like trigger like people. And the first one that came up here was people who love cats are lonely. Then the one that follows up right
I
behind.
believe that. I don't trust y'all cat
What?
lovers.
I wasn't lonely when I had my cat.
I saw a video the other day on Twitter.
Y'all just
of
be sitting there. I'm so lonely. You keep petting your cat. That's all
I saw this video on Twitter of this girl sharing watermelon with her cat. The same slice of watermelon. She's eating out of it. The cat's eating right next to her. Disgusting. Gross as hell. Cats lick themselves clean after they step into a litter box. Don't do that.
Another one, people without college degrees aren't smart.
Wait, what?
People without
Aren't
college
smart,
degree
you
aren't
said?
smart. Yeah, that they're dumb. If you don't have a college degree, you're dumb.
Yeah, that one's a dumb stereotype.
It's a
Yeah,
trigger.
I'm not
It's
down
a
with
trigger
that one.
thing. Single women over 30 are sad.
I don't think so, honestly.
Yeah,
I think the 30s are a rad time in your life. I think it's a real cool time to really just kind of explore yourself and do your own thing.
Yeah.
And then women aren't strong leaders. These are all top trigger fucking stereotypes.
These are stereotypes I've never even heard of.
Yeah, I've
No?
never even heard of these.
I've heard of the strong
No.
woman not being strong leaders. And
I'm in the tech world, so like unfortunately, like women have a hard time in the tech world. So I haven't had a lot of like women leaders in my life, but the ones I have had have been badasses. Like all the ones that I've interacted with and known.
wait, they have a hard time.
I want to
in
say
this
most
world.
of the leaders at my job are women, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. My favorite manager I've had was a woman. So
Yeah?
yeah, for sure. The best manager I've ever had. Probably the best manager I'll ever have in my entire life.
I tend to like male doctors, or not male doctors. I tend to like women doctors. I feel like all the male doctors that I've ever had are like, I see them for 30. I go to the doctor. It takes an hour and a half to go to the doctor with the waiting room and all the extra nonsense. And I see the doctor for all of 30 seconds whenever it's a male doctor. They're in the room. They write me a prescription. They're out of the room. And that's the entire interaction.
But there's pros and cons to that. I also like a woman doctor. My doctor now is a woman. And when she talks to me, I feel like she cares. She's listening. She's asking questions. But when I'm in the waiting room waiting, she's taking too fucking long with each one of these fucking people. You know what I mean? It's like I'm in there for an hour. Like, what the fuck is going on?
You want that
I don't know.
exclusivity for yourself.
Facts. I want in and out, but I want the love.
Something about having a woman inspect my body makes me feel weird.
Really?
Like,
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I'd spend
Like
a lot of time.
having a woman tell me to take my pants off so she could cut my balls and cough. It's like, It feels like
Like I'm cheating.
feels like this is beyond the patient-doctor relationship here, okay?
That's why I always feel like it's weird when I see gynecology as a male-dominated industry. I'm like, wow, it's like it must be weird for women to have
My
to
wife
go
says
and,
she hates that shit. She don't want no male gynecologist.
no, I
Even if
feel
he's the
you.
best at it.
I don't know. She doesn't like the idea of a
just-
man spreading her vagina wide open and looking into it. It makes her uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't think I would be uncomfortable. Like I'm not uncomfortable when my doctor cups and checks. You know what I mean? But it's just like,
Yep. Yeah, we grew up with no health insurance, so we went to like the cheapest clinic that we could. So for like physicals and things, it was just whichever doctor was available. So I've had,
Yeah.
you know, males and females do like the physical and cut my balls and make me cough and all that. I don't have any preferences on that.
I don't think I've ever had a woman check my balls. Thank God.
I want
that
to.
would make me uncomfortable.
I want to say when it was a woman doctor that was doing like the check on me, they always had like a nurse come in or something to I guess observe and make sure there was no like funny business happening or make sure nothing was being violated or some such.
I had a doctor be racist to me when I was a kid with my mom in the room.
Oh, that's
Well,
fucked.
kind of. I don't know. Kind of. I guess he was kind of scolding my mother because I was overweight when I was young. It started when I was like 6 or 7. I started having to take this asthma medicine, prednisone, and it's a steroid, so it made me big. Like I just had to take it so much, I just started to gain a lot of weight.
Yeah, it increases your appetite a lot.
Yeah, and so it was hard for me to like lose the weight, and then like the doctor was like, "You see, that's what's wrong with you people." And he's like, "What do you want? You want us to have to come in here one day and cut your tits off?" And I was like,
How old were you?
I was like 7. I was like young. I was, or 6 years old. Yeah. You see this guy? Yeah. So he was just really
he's a
like
piece of shit, bro. That's
He wouldn't have pulled that move if you went to the doctor with your dad.
yeah.
Oh no,
for
yeah,
sure.
hell no.
He
He
just
would
put like, oh man, if I was, I would have fought. I would have just.
My
fought
mom
the
got
doctor.
really upset when, and but I feel like a lot of men, they will take advantage of a situation if there's a woman there, and you'll see this in like auto part places.
That's
You'll
another
see it
stereotype
in like
too. That is-
parking garages in New York. If you just are a woman, they'll overcharge you, bro, for parking. It's crazy. And if you pay cash, a lot of those people put that shit in their pocket. But they won't do it if there's a man around. But yeah, that's also a stereotype, you think, or no?
Yeah, it's 100%.
It's an actual thing.
Like, but it's somewhat true though. It's weird to say. Like, there's not a lot of female mechanics, but
Is it true?
yes.
What are you? Where are you? What are you basing this off of?
Just off of experience. I've worked in the industry
Yeah,
with
I'm
mechanic
good.
and all that, and I know for a fact, bro. Like literally,
Is this when you worked in the auto industry? I'm just asking. Was this when you were a part of the auto industry and when he had a blob
I had a
in
titty
his
on my
wheel?
car apparently.
I
We
knew,
in the
I knew that's
business.
where
We
he
in
was
the-
going with it. I
Yeah.
knew that's where he was going with it. This fucking piece of shit. But yes,
That's what we in the auto industry
Yeah, that's
call
one of the worst things you could
a
say.
tit.
That's
tit.
one of the worst things you could say is like, I know this stereotype is true. What am I basing it off of? My experience. It's like
yeah.
that does not describe the totality of people.
And I'm not
You
saying
could have just grown up. Your experience could have just been around a bunch of pieces of shit. So that group of pieces of shit did that. No other mechanic in the world behaves that way. But you just have this view that this is how mechanics are. Like it's not. That doesn't seem like the way to form
so.
opinions.
Out
is
of
based
10
off
different, out of 10 different fucking events, 9 out of 10 have been the same
Events.
outcome. Like yeah, like I'd be in a fucking mechanic shop waiting for my car to get repaired. Excuse me, waiting for my car to get repaired. A woman comes in and this dude is trying to sell her everything in the fucking book. She has to call her husband. Then the husband has to get on the phone, or someone she had to bring a friend with her. Like I've seen this shit, so it's not like I'm just saying like, oh, we're just blindly saying it's the truth. It's just like there is some truth behind that stereotype. Like, not every girl knows mechanic, but there are some that are better than men, and I know men who don't know shit about mechanic.
There's a lot
about it.
Here's a stereotype that I believe in very strongly. Car salesmen, kind of greasy, kind of grimy people in general.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all dirtbags.
No, for sure.
All the buddies that I've known that like previously worked as car salesmen, and like Duicho said, this is really weak evidence, but we're gonna roll with it. All the buddies I know that have worked as car salesmen in their life, they quit they quit those jobs because they did not like having to screw people over. They didn't like having to upsell them on a bunch of bullshit they didn't need. It made them feel bad.
And not only that, they not only that they screw people over like majorly and royally, like really, like to the point where it's almost like a drug dealer. You start selling someone a drug, and then after a while, you see them coming back, and their clothes are more raggedy, and they are like they're not driving a car anymore. They're coming to you in a bike, and like you slowly see that you're destroying this person's life. It's like it's wild to me the way car dealerships get away, and there's this jargon. It's the worst. I hate when I go into a place and there's a jargon or a way people start to speak to you. It's real weird.
So I have a friend of the family. Well, he's a family member. I'm not gonna say names, but he himself has told me, "Oh, I bagged another one today. X amount of dollars over the this and that." And I'd be like, "Damn, could they got it cheaper?" Yeah, but that's not the point. I'd be like, "Damn."
Who is this?
Can't say names.
Who?
But it's just like
Who? That's what Tony be doing if you're talking about people.
It's be like salesmen, bro. They even Easy told us too before. Like he would tell us all the time, like, yeah, bro, they're fucking slime balls. Like you can get this, this, and this by saying this. Say no to this. I'll be like, bro. That's why I hate cars, man. I hate dealing with cars, man. All that shit. That's why Carvana was pretty. Carsman, yeah, salesman.
I love you, bro.
I know. When I get these
My
rants, I
favorite
just
people.
start fucking putting shit
I hate
together.
cars, man. Yo, but anyways, my issue though, Tone, is like everything you're describing, right? Let's just say, what if only Florida mechanics were like that? There's 49 other states. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I highly doubt that, but yeah.
It's great. It's great that you highly doubt it, right? That's not the point though. Whether you're right or you're wrong, it doesn't matter. It's like math class, right? Is you got the answer the wrong way. Like that's what's important. Like
But
saying
it's the
like
answer.
you can't base like have these strong opinions about things based off of like, oh yeah, I ran into 4 people and that this thing happened 4 times. Okay, I know this happens all the time. It's not.
I mean,
I don't know. It's how people fall into a lot of flawed thinking.
Well, I mean, the problem with stereotypes, right, is like you could get a supercomputer. You could get like the biggest like computational cluster in the world to run all kinds of computations. And it could probably at some point, if you tweaked it enough, you ran enough simulations, got enough data, blah, 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 you could probably get it to like a 99.99999% accuracy predicting what a group of people would do, right? Like you could probably map out human behavior to that level. But then you take it to the individual level. You cannot predict that person's life. You can't predict what that individual is going to make, what decision they're going to make in any particular situation. You can just kind of you can have these stereotypes in your head, but they're only going to inform you, even if they are accurate stereotypes, they're going to inform you of the group, but they're not going to inform you of the individual. But we use those stereotypes to judge individuals.
I think that's really well put. That was good. Huh?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the main problem with stereotypes is that someone might have the view women can't drive, and then they'll start hanging out with a new girl, and then they'll be like, all right, I need to drive because she sucks at driving.
Reba McEntire.
Regardless of whether that thing is true or not, which I already told you, I'm pretty sure it's false. But not that I'm pretty sure. Just the statistics show car accidents and violations, women, Asians, elderly people rank really low compared to other people. Like young men are like the worst fucking drivers in the world.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to drift, they're trying to drive fast, they're trying to drag, they're doing a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
But you know, men are the best drivers, you know. That's
Reba McEntire from the Little Rascals was one of the greatest race car drivers of all time.
right. I used to
I
think she
remember
was
that
hot.
when same. I used to really have a crush on her.
Damn. I need
Also,
to go look up
Fran the
actress.
nanny. She's a stereotype. Fran the nanny, right? She's like a New Jersey or like a Long Island woman.
Do you think
That's
she
a
actually
stereo.
talks like that in real life?
It's so hot.
Yeah.
I was like, I loved it. I was like every
Yeah, for
second of
sure.
it.
That must be
Yeah.
the most divisive voice in the world.
Hmm. I like the King of Queens. Look at the King of Queens.
What about
Run
the
it.
King of Queens? What about it?
No. She was kind of hot too. The Scientology lady that left Scientology.
Oh,
Leanne
his
something?
wife?
Mm-hmm.
Tony, get us into this next topic.
Yeah, what the fuck? You just pointing out hot women?
This man always goes left, bro. This shit confuses me.
All I said was, yo, I had a crush on that driver in the Little Rascals when I was a kid. And he's like, yeah, the nanny. Yeah, the nanny. King of
Just-
Queens.